Well, it's great to be here representing Mastercard. My name is Mario Shiliashki, and I'll take you through a bit of what we are here to show via our Open API platform. We have a number of workshops tomorrow, so please come do a deep dive, and I'll tell you a bit more later. One thing's for sure, the world is changing, and it's changing rapidly, and we're very excited to be part of it. What you take away is that what was accessible to only large enterprises in terms of technology is becoming very accessible, faster and cheaper for small developers, startups, and small companies. And what this is resulting in is a ton of innovation in a bunch of vertical sectors and use cases that we're excited about, which is really driving a change in commerce. We are all about commerce, and driving that is what we do and what we focus on. One of the reasons why we open up our platform, or open up our network and the services we provide in the network, is to drive faster integration of all these edge devices that are becoming connected to the internet. Apple Pay is one example of that. My colleagues at Visa talked about that. That's one example of a partner we've worked with over the past 2 years to develop that technology to make sure that it's as secure and as simple as possible to integrate, and have partners like Apple, like Google, do the work that they're good at in terms of consumer adoption, in terms of integration, and phenomenal consumer experience. As we go on our daily lives, more and more of our devices are becoming connected, and all these devices have the potential to be commerce devices. Whether you're driving in your car, whether you're on your phone, whether you're talking here and checking email, whatever the device of choice is, whether you're in the store, at home, whether you're shopping in-app or on the browser, right now you can do it from multiple devices. And generally, the rails underlying all of that are the same. And that's what we provide. At Mastercard, we provide the rails that power commerce, whether that's digital, physical, or as more and more people call it, omni-channel, whatever that means. What we'd like to make sure we do is that whatever the use case, whatever the vertical, whatever the business you're focused on, you can integrate as quickly and as seamlessly as possible with our services into our platform. It's no longer just focused on the issuing and acquiring banks, although they're very important customers of ours. We're making that technology accessible to independent developers, to small merchants, and many other companies. I'll give you some examples of that as we go through. We call it the Mastercard Developer Zone, which is where we publish and showcase a lot of the services we publish. Come and check it out. A number of services. I'll give you just a couple of examples of what I mean. The Wolfpack One card is an example of something we did actually a couple of years ago, so it's a bit outdated now, and it's in need of a refresh, but it's a good example of how we work with multiple partners. So this was a partnership with US Bank and NC State University to basically develop a consumer card, a student ID that doubles up as a debit card, that through our APIs, both the students themselves, their parents, well-wishers can send them money, load up money on the card. Consumers, the students can actually use it on campus, can use it off campus, anywhere Mastercard's accepted. And it's a phenomenally convenient way to use the product, as well as we're now developing a mobile app to go with it. The other example, so that is powered by our what we call Repower API, which is a way for consumers to load up money at any cash point, any ATM. What we have as well in Developer Zone is a number of APIs that are packaged based on the data that we have in the network. So the data we have is all the transaction data that we have from billions of transactions each day. That is anonymous, that is packaged for specific use cases. One example is the ability to integrate the nearest ATM location in whatever application you might be developing. That may be interesting to a car manufacturer, with one large one we're working with, that is integrating that into the dashboard computer so that they can have a live feed of what the nearest ATM or cashback location is. We're working with other people on recommending restaurants. Well, you ask, what does Mastercard have to do with recommending restaurants? Well, we know where people go when they land from a different country, when they land from a different city, what is the most frequented restaurant in terms of time of day or time of year, opening and closing hours of any merchant on the planet. So lots of rich data that we're packaging up in API services that we can then make public. One example of another set of APIs is risk and fraud capabilities. A company you may have heard of called Count utilizes a lot of our APIs. A lot of the payment processors and people like Braintree, who we'll hear from next, and Stripe also use that same set of APIs for risk and fraud management from Mastercard. So what we're attempting to do, and I think we're getting there, is we've built over the past 50 years the strongest, fastest, most powerful, most secure network in the world for payments. We're opening that up to small developers, to retailers, to merchants, to startups, so they can use some of the power of the data that sits in the network, of the tools that we have built, of the platforms that we have, whether they're wallet platforms, whether they're merchant fraud platforms, whether they're data platforms, and so forth, so that you can plug and play quickly in our sandbox and then go to production quickly as well. It all happens here. Come and check it out, developer.mastercard.com. We're making some exciting changes, adding a lot of new SDKs to our MasterPass APIs, to a lot of the other APIs that we offer. You will be able to learn more tomorrow if you come to our workshops. We'll give you kind of an under-the-hood look at 8:30 in the morning. Get your coffee to see what Developer Zone is all about and how to integrate, how to get quickly set up and get started. At 9:30, we'll learn a lot more about the specific APIs we offer and some of the ones that are in the works. We have about 15 APIs right now on the platform, and many others coming. And then you'll hear about some real-life implementations of our APIs at 10:30. And of course, we'll be at the booth with a lot of our team answering questions, making sure that you guys can integrate as quickly and as easily as possible. What I want to finish with is to say this: we are in a phenomenally exciting time with large players coming into the payments ecosystem, riding on the rails that we've laid. We are in the process of upgrading our infrastructure, of opening up that infrastructure, all in the spirit of driving innovation in commerce, innovation in shopping, and the way people lead their lives. If you think about the way innovation happens, it happens with a problem that someone finds out or thinks about and then goes out and solves it. Payments generally in commerce becomes an integral point of that. And what we're here to do is make sure that we're not the ones thinking about the next innovation. We want to make sure that we power the ones that do through a very easy, very secure, and very fast integration of any payment functionality that you might desire from Mastercard or any of our partners. So with that, I'll say come meet us tomorrow, come at the booth, and enjoy the show. Thank you for having us.